Alrighty, chat. What's up? Welcome, everybody. How we doing? How's it going? Welcome, Radarn. Hope you're doing well. Having a good Tuesday so far. All right, we got our guy in the corner now. Okay. Let's see if I remember how to do this. All right, my hair's a mess. I need a haircut so bad. Anyways, hello chat. Hi. I hope no one is staring at me across because my window is open and I have the blinds open so I can watch the rain. So I like when it's raining. I'm good. What about you? I'm doing well. Still getting settled in. I also don't have all of my hats unpacked and settled or hair gel or anything. Can't find my razor, which is why I look like this, so don't mind it, but we're live. And we got the shelf set up yesterday. I got my guys up top, my books there, and I got my shoes. So we'll add to that as we go. Also realize that if I put my TV here, it'll probably block all of this, but we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But today we got one objective, and that's to find a shiny blue gamer. He's evaded me for a while. I've honestly done 3 or 4 different radar hunts for Snorunt and been very unsuccessful. So today I'm hoping that we can fix that and get after it. So get over to here. We put a couple of things on screen real quick. I'm gonna bring Snorunt back. Put him right here. And then I'm just gonna put a number. And it's just gonna be the number of times we've done the radar. Well, times 4. It's gonna be the number of encounters, or patches of grass we've seen. Give that an outline. It actually looks half decent because for some reason the text layers in OBS look terrible. Nice thick outline. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. There we go. Keep that window open. My internet is wired back in again, so it may flicker. We found it was doing that last night, but we're chilling for now. I plugged it into a different Ethernet port, so we'll see if that does anything. Okay. We do have to do... Well, let's kill this music for a second. We'll bring it back, but... bring in this, and we need to do kind of 2 quick things because I realize I don't know that I have a ton of Pokeballs or repels in this, and this does take a lot of both of those things. All right, balls we're doing okay. Repels, I'd be amazed at how fast you go through 183 super repels in this game. But a couple things I want to show off because I don't know if that I've shown them on stream, that we've played this game yet on stream. So my team now, Palkia, whatever, level 100, cool. The rest of my squad is just an all-star lineup. We have my shiny Ampharos, looking all pink and cool. We got Muddrip, my magnum opus. My shiny Mudkip. It's now level 73 because it has an Everstone, and I refuse to let it ever evolve. Potentially one of my next favorites, shiny Umbreon, looks so good. One of my 2 shiny EVs I worked to evolve. Sneeze, the Sneasel, also shiny. And this was the last radar hunt I did, which is in the same route we're going to go to today. I think that's the squad for now. I have several other shinies in the boxes that we can go through quickly, just to show off a little. I don't think I've shown them on the stream. We have Shanks, Bright Burb, another Eevee, another Mareep. Nidoking, which is different than the Nidoking I caught in Sword and Shield. So that's that. We'll add Gallade back to the party. And also, for those of you that were here for yesterday's stream where we did some hunting in Scarlet and Violet, I continued doing that for a couple hours off stream afterwards. I was kind of chilling out, listening to a podcast, and I did not find any of the shinies I was looking for. But I did find shinies in general, so I have some fun clips from yesterday. This is the same area, just going around like we were doing. So we'll let this play for a second. I jump and I notice something out of the corner of my eye. It's a little bit off. Circle back, and there it is. A shiny Pomo, I believe. Pomot. And I named it Hot Cheeto. That was what I came up with. We have another one. Or did I record this too late? I'm gonna record this too late. It has that feeling. Unless... Oh, that was that guy coming out of the ground. Never mind. Did I record the other one? Okay, I caught a shiny Mudbray. That's what I'm getting at. That was the other shiny that I found. So there's that. So 2 shinies, not the ones that we wanted, but 2 more to add to the list in Scarlet and Violet. Yeah, the Hot Cheeto one, I was like, what's... Because it's like the color of... I was thinking of the Cheetos mac and cheese that looks kind of disgusting, but kind of good. It's like, it looks like that, but it's not like regular Cheeto color. I had also literally just eaten a bag of Cheetos, which is kind of insane that that all came together at one point, but that boy looks so cold. Yeah, you have to drop a follow and he will stop shivering. That's how that works. The other thing we need to do, and I mean this kind of literally, is farm old people. And that might sound weird, but it is kind of what we're doing. But we just need to keep fighting this old couple for money, because I need more money. So we'll do this for like 15 minutes max. So they shell out the cash. Okay. Probably tired of me fighting them. Go full face cam. Want to see the shelf? Okay, gotcha. There my guys. There my shoes. I'm gonna probably change where those books are because the books don't look cool for stream. They make me look like a nerd. So I'll probably change them. But stealing from old people pog. True. As if we haven't stolen enough from them. Eat the rich. Also, what a great intro, like a little riff that is. Gentleman Jeremy, whose chatot has been killed just time and time again. They've stolen the housing market from us, so it's only fair. So true. I also just desperately need to get more furniture in here, because the last like days I've been just using this mic. I can hear. I think I have space to put something like a little chair over there and then a TV, and I'm really hoping that somehow those just eat up sound waves, but that might also just be the downfall of putting my setup right in front of a window, which I know is not smart, but all right. Gentleman Jeremy shells out $24,000 and we run it back. So we literally just need to bike in and out of this route and use the Versus Seeker. Like it's a 10-15 minutes max, and then we should be set up. And the method we use is the, I think it's called the 18 method. It's either 17 or 18, I always forget. But you basically just get a chain of 18. And then you just keep resetting on that chain, because that's some level of like critical threshold of trade-off in terms of the possibility of your chain breaking versus the odds that you get. I think it's like 1 in 1900 odds, which we can do in about, get about 2000 encounters in 3-ish hours. Who at Game Freak thought this was a good idea? The Versus Seeker or the Radar or some other thing? Because this whole like farming money thing, great idea. I'll stand by whoever did this. The Radar becoming like so much worse in this game. I got beef with whoever decided on that. So try to move my mic, but it's in the worst possible position. Anyways, 24,000 for murdering a chatbot. Well, pays the bills, doesn't it? Yeah, I don't know why these two NPCs are just the factory for money in this game. I'm not sure of the exact math, but it has to be in like the close to 1 million range that I have stolen from these two NPCs. But I'll keep doing it. They keep paying. I'll keep doing it. I think Snorunt has like decent enough odds for catching that I can just use quick balls or repeat balls and that'll be fine. I might also reorganize my boxes for a tiny bit just to make sure I have space for them to fill up. All right. Haven't like getting these like weird sneezing fits, and I don't know if it's just from like the dust of moving everything. Because I vacuumed and cleaned out this area pretty well, but every like couple of hours I'll just hit like 6 sneezes in a row and then be completely fine. So I don't know what the deal with that is, but if you see me randomly like pausing and stopping what I'm saying, probably why. But how's everybody doing today? It's a schmoody little Tuesday here. Got some nice rain going on, setting the good gaming vibes. I also, the whole reason that I'm doing this is because a couch is getting delivered, so I need to be somewhat in tune with what's going on. There is a chance I will just have to like get up and leave in the middle of this for like 10-ish minutes. Just thought I'd put that warning out now. So just so you know, I'll come back, and there's a chance it gets delivered after stream too. But the window is from 10 to 2, of course. So I can never really be too sure. I was going to do a speed run today, then I realized how awful that would be if it was just mid speed run and had to get up and leave, which I've had to do before, so to be fair. But I think we're going to rip Sapphire again tomorrow. I need to do some practicing because it's been a little bit since I've worked on my frame perfect inputs and flow timer things, but if I can figure out the Abra manip chat, it is game over. Which granted I still haven't figured out, but alright, that's got to be enough, right? 120,000. I feel like that should be good enough. We'll find out. Also, just need to get a chair in here because this is not the ideal gaming chair by any means. Works, it looks fine. It's low enough to the ground for this desk, but I just have to shift around to be comfortable. All right, then we just finish with super repels. All right, 328 should probably be fine. I imagine that will serve us for what we need. I think we're good. It's that, and off to route 216, 17, whichever one it is. That's where we're going. There we go. Cool. Gotta go all the way down, frankly, but there's no really good way of doing this. Crazy, because I look back, like, I know I'm not in the majority here, but I just don't think these games look that horrendous. I can't explain it, but or do I actually? I don't think I need this music going, so let's. I also forgot to start recording. There we go. Alright, we should be good. We just need to start a Snorunt chain and hope it gets to 18. That's it. People not like this remake. I haven't really seen much of it, but I don't think it's that bad. People despise this game. I think this is one of the most disliked Pokemon games. It's certainly probably the most disliked remake. But yeah, this was a very unpopular game. I think it sold incredibly well because everybody just loved Diamond and Pearl, but there are some aspects that I think are kind of stupid. Like, there's a lot of cool things in Platinum that they added that like weren't in this game. The little bits of Platinum that I remember, but that's a common complaint, so I tend to agree with people on that one. Or just like the progression of the storyline and stuff that. But the biggest thing, the biggest hurdle is the art style, I think. To be fair, I will give one other like piece of credit. The games were incredibly broken when they first came out. I think you could beat the entire game in 18 minutes was like the world record. It might be faster, honestly. But yeah, the games were like horrendously broken and bugged when it came out. Like you could just open, I forget exactly how you did it, but if you could do something to where you kept opening a menu on top of a menu a bunch of times, and then you could like close stuff in a way that you could just walk through walls. You could walk over grass tiles and stuff. Is crazy. I actually have some really fun videos about it. If you look up, I know John Stone has a video about it, which is really fun to watch, which does an okay job of explaining it. It's a really weird concept, so how do I move this box? Try that, and we'll do one more. These are all gonna be out of order, but they have no Pokemon in them, so. Yeah, I would say the biggest complaint often was art style. People hate this art style, which I really don't think it looks that bad. Because everybody complains about how all the other 3D games look too. I think people just don't like the 3D era of Pokemon, though I don't think it'll ever go back. I don't think you'd get away with releasing a 2D game to new audiences in today's day and age, but people just despise it. But it still gives me that good nostalgia kick. Okay, our chain has also ended, so that's great. They did make the Poke Radar in some ways so much worse, but also so much better, which is really interesting. Like the chains break so much more often, but also there are tons of quality of life improvements. Like the grass tiles stay shaking. If you walk with tiles off screen, they don't just all break your chain instantly. So you don't have to be as attentive, but the price for that is your chain being twice as likely to break. I think if you do everything right, the odds of getting a chain to 40 in original Diamond and Pearl are 40%. And in this game it is 5%, which is why they've come up with new methods that don't involve having to get your chain all the way to 40. Not sure if I like the visuals much when you're walking around, but when you're in battle, I quite like it. Yeah, the battle looks great. Walking around, I think, is the part that people really don't like. I mean, these scenes look fine. I think it's cool. You have Mount Coronet in the background. It's all snowy. It looks great. The Pokemon models look good for the most part. I mean, the same ones that have looked stupid in the past still look stupid, but, you know, my boy Marshtomp doesn't look any better in this game than other games, but the overworld, I think, is fine. I'm not like, this is the most visually stunning Pokemon game of all time. I don't think it is, but that's not a good spot. We'll just reroll. I think another big factor for this was that it is a direct recreation of Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. There is pretty much, besides the underground, just zero new features, anything different about the original games in these games. The underground is way better in this game. And also you can like actually get the events, which is really cool. They did a good job with that with Arceus. You do kind of have to own like a bunch of games to get stuff. So you can get Mew and Jirachi by owning Let's Go and Sword and Shield and having a save file on both those on your Switch account. And you can get Arceus, Darkrai, Shaman. I think if you get them, you can either get them in this game, which activates the events in Legends, or you get them in Legends, which activates the event in this game. I kind of forget, to be completely honest. But they did a good job with the Gen 4 Mythicals between this and Legends. So it was cool when this game, you know, came around to do all these events that I like did as a kid, but I just used an action replay for because I didn't really know when the events went on, or like didn't want to convince my parents to drive me to Toys R Us to do a, you know, to see different colored pixels that didn't exist in this game before, like, you know. So it's nice to be able to get those legitimately, which is one of the things I think they've done well with new Pokemon games, is they've actually added ways to get Pokemon that otherwise were just like, hey, drive to this place on one day a year. And if not, good luck. I mean, that's the beauty of Wi-Fi and just having like internet events now. You just have to know what's going on, but it's easy enough to keep up with that if you just follow the right people on social media or go on the Pokemon website from time to time. We're going for that 18 chain. I'm just going to keep rocking. I'm gonna skip this. It's a great song, but it's not the vibe right now. Apparently the vibe right now is a lot of black and white music, but that's a good chunk of what's on this playlist. I went through this morning and added a bunch of Diamond and Pearl music. So now we are just missing pretty much just Gen 7. And this playlist will be mostly complete. Also, I can explain the radar mechanics if anyone is unfamiliar. I just kind of rock with this assumption that everybody knows what's going on, but if you don't, feel free to say like, hey, what are you doing and why? And then I can try to explain it. But it's one of those things that I feel like a lot of people have learned about over the years between this game and the previous. I don't really remember any songs from Gen 7. Me neither. There's like a few that I like. I think it's one of the first cities I like the theme of. I can't even remember the name of it. It might be just Iki Town, but I think there are a few okay tracks. But I think for the most part, this playlist is done. It's 60 something songs. I think I can add more from Gen 3 as well. And it's mostly just like routes in town. So there are probably other side, like I could add battle themes and stuff, but I feel like a lot of times the battle themes are just a little too intense for when I have the music on. It's usually a pretty laid back vibe. So it doesn't make a ton of sense to have this crazy music going on. No, I don't want to add you to my party. Sorry, Snorunt. Reroll these. Just so we're not so close to the edge. Okay, that didn't help at all. Toss another repel on. But a while back in this game, I was chaining to get shiny Eevee, and I finally got a 40 chain after like a month of trying on and off. And then I managed to catch one shiny Eevee before running out of repels. So that lesson has just been ingrained in my brain to always have as many repels as you can before you do this, because you will go through them much faster than you expect. And even once you get that 40 chain, if you're going for that method, it still can take a really long time to find a shiny patch. But I've also had stuff like that where you get it in under odds, or I think I've had where you get 2 shiny patches at once. I had that happen one time. All right. We keep rocking. And then once we do this, it's just like run up and down, hit plus, run up and down, hit plus. And we just do that a lot of times. That's the one thing that's like tough about this, is it's one of the easiest to comprehend and like follow along methods. There's not a lot of setup, but there's also like not a whole lot going on with it, which is a little tough. So that's why it's nice to have the chat and just go back and forth. Talk about whatever. Because things like that with my chain breaking at 11 also happen, so. For no rhyme or reason. So, we run it back. This is the other thing with this method, is sometimes the setup can take just way too long. So I don't always end up finding a shiny in the stream, just depending on how long I go. Because of the fact that sometimes it takes like an hour to get set up, which is really annoying considering the whole reason. The entire reason how to do this whole method with only 18 chain is so the chain won't break. But we have Snorunt, Sneasel, both of which I have shiny in separate games, to be fair, but I think Snorunt might be the last radar Pokemon from this route that I do not have a shiny of. And really, it's only shiny Snorunt that looks cool. I don't think Frostlass or Glalie look good at all, so it will be staying as a Snorunt, but it's always a fun Pokemon from Gen 3 that I liked. So, do it some justice. Try to find a shiny. But the game's not going to make it easy on me. It never does usually, so. But we'll just keep running it. I think I also need to add Gen 8 and 9 music to this too. Oh, and I also take it back. Well, I do have a shiny Graveler, but that's unrelated. Or shiny Geodude at least in Legends. Might be in home right now. But see what. How long is this? I think yeah, 67 songs, which seems pretty good. A lot of the Gen 4 ones are just like a minute long. I didn't find longer versions, so. Because a lot of them, it's either like, oh, it's a 30-minute long version, a 7-minute long version, or a 1-minute long version. And 7 and 30 are just way too long for background music. My Mew on Scarlet ended up being a Dragon Terror type 2. Let's go. Dragon Gang. Rise up. I also need to boot up Scarlet so I can get a Mew in that one. I have seen people posting that like they found a Psychic Terror type Mew and I just feel so bad. It's like of all the types you just got the type it already is, which is tough. You hate to see it. So yeah, maybe I'll do that the next couple days. Boot up Scarlet, just so I can get that done. All right. Apparently, Snorunt has gone into hiding since our last chain. Also, oh, that was me. I sampled my my sniff instead of muting. Nice. That's good. But I hope they start doing more events like that. Although they've added a lot of stuff through the Terra raids, which I don't find it to be that fun. Because the raids are so hard to beat. And it's just like, oh, a Terra type starter Pokemon. I think they did add one of the Gen 3 starters, which I kind of wanted to do, but the Terra raids are just so frustrating. If you're not doing them with other people, like, I don't know that I've really beat any of the 4 or 5 star ones. Like, they're so much more difficult than the Dynamax raids. Where those you can kind of just sit back. Like, your teammates are still idiots, but a lot of the Pokemon aren't like shielding constantly or doing all these things. Like, the Terra raids, you are just helpless. Oh my goodness. I can't even find what I'm looking for now. Are you serious? I think the past 2 times I've hunted specifically, well, maybe at least one of them was in this area. When I found Shiny Sneasel, that was like right after I ended stream. I streamed for like 3 hours trying to find this thing, could not find it, went offline, and just like an hour later played for 20 more minutes and found it. So I just don't even do the terror raids because I don't have online. Like the 1 and 2 stars you can get away with if you have a very high level Pokemon, I feel like. That's good typing. But I realize now that I do have online, but I still don't want to like do it with other people. I think that's a huge thing for me in games, that our single player, for the most part, I should be able to do everything reasonably as one player. I shouldn't have to link up with other people. Which, granted, that's been a thing since Generation 1. You've had to trade Pokemon, so. Did Sneasel just, like, stop existing on this route? So confused. Well, it's been like 10 minutes since we've even had a chain because I've just had to search for Snorunt. Like it. What I want to know. Okay, random encounter. Oh, okay. To be fair, it is a 12%, but still. I feel like 12% encounter. We haven't found it in 10 minutes of looking for it. I did kind of think it was just a regular encounter, so I'll give some credit there, but still, this is bullshit. I would just like to make that note. That is all. Arceus is so fun now that I've got Braviary. Once you have Braviary, the game is just wildly better. I have to sneeze, but I don't. Goodness. Like getting around on Stantler is fun. I kind of forgot that you do almost like the entire story of the game without Braviary, because now it's the only thing I do when I play that game is you just fly around. Okay, 12%. I'm pretty sure is like 1 in 8, roughly, a little bit less, but we've done like 25 encounters. Just found nothing. This is how we burn through repels, chat. This is how it goes. I'm telling you. Yeah, Arceus is I need to find like the next thing to do in that game, which I'm pretty sure is just gonna be a different shiny hunt. So maybe I'll work on perfecting a dex entry or 2 offline, which frankly, if I do that, there's a good chance I just run into the shiny then, but I want to just pick out like 2 or 3 really cool shiny Pokemon from that and go for them. That would be fun. I also had a decent idea the other day. We'll see if it actually is possible. Like, just do a stream where I pick like 6 favorite shiny Pokemon across the Switch games and try to get all of them in one stream using kind of different methods. Like maybe one would be a radar hunt. One could be like Masuda, but that takes a really long time. So it's a bit riskier for a one stream event. But, you know, one's maybe like a swarm or something in Scarlet Violet or an Outbreak. Another one's like an alpha encounter in Legends, you know, something like that. I like a news shake my head chat. Where are the Snorunt at? Where are you? I've only got a bit left of the story. I think after I beat it, I'll try to finish my decks and eventually my living decks. That'll be fun. That's a game that I want to, like, I either just want to play it again or go back and try to do more stuff. Or like a living decks. The only thing that turns me away from that is literally just the space-time distortion Pokemon. That's one of the only things I do not like about that game. And I don't even think it's a terrible idea. Just the way they executed on it was really bad. Snorunt, where are you? Why can I not find you? Where did you go? Where the hell did you go? Why is it like this? Why can I not find this one? Just in general, not even shiny, just in general. Can't even find Snorunt right now. I think it's been almost 20 minutes. Because my chain of Snorunt broke at like just under 30 minutes into stream. I guess you can just shiny hunt while you wait for a distortion to spawn. Kind of. But anytime... What is it? Anytime you enter a battle, open a menu, like anything else, basically, anytime you do that, it just stops the timer. So unless you are literally just flying in circles for an hour, which granted an Arceus is a relatively effective method for finding shinies, it's weird. I don't know. Which, granted, most of those Pokemon you can just transfer in, but... I'm trying to remember all the exclusives. It's like Magnemite, the Fossil Pokemon, and a couple others, but... Other stuff can also just spawn in during the distortions, which is really frustrating. So even if you finally get the distortion you've been looking for, there's no guarantee that you find the Pokemon you actually need out of it. At this point, I think you could probably just use Home to get just about everything in there, but... Okay, can I just... I'm not even asking for a shiny. I'm just... Can I have a Snorunt? Thank you. And that was about just under 20 minutes of just looking for a 12% encounter. So we just need to find 17 more of those in a row without anything happening. So, it'll be fine. But yeah, I do need to beef up some entries in the decks for Legends, because I think it's honestly like, if you're doing it to shiny hunt, I think it's fun. If you're just doing it in general, it can be a little bit monotonous, but I'm not risking any sort of shenanigans now. We're going 4 tiles away every time. No questions asked, catching everything. But I also don't want to perfect like every entry, or at least if I decide to do that, it will not be in any set period of time. I just like, it's not a fun thing to do just day after day. And I think it was more a thing like when the game first came out, maybe it would be fun, but now that the novelty is worn off and a lot of people have done it, I just think it's way less exciting. That's not to say you shouldn't do it, like if you want to. I'm just not quite a completionist to that extent. I like trying to do the decks. I've been trying to do that in all the new games, and I think I have done it in everything back to Let's Go, right? Which I think is every Switch game. So just did it in Violet, Legends, this game, Let's Go, Sword Shield, Let's Go. Yeah. In past that, I don't think I've ever done a complete dex in any other game. So they just made everything so much easier on Switch that it makes so much more sense. And be able to just transfer stuff with yourself, like using Pokemon Home, is life-changing, rather than like having to have 2 Switches or stuff like that. I mean, trade evos are still annoying, but if everything has compatibility and you just get the trade evos in one game, you just kind of like bump them. I think I have the same like Machop or Machamp, Golem, all that I've traded from like Sword and Shield to this game, back to Let's Go. And then there's a lot of games too, like Legends, where you can just catch them in the wild, which is so much more fun. It's so nice to have that option available to you. I keep telling myself I'll perfect all the entries, but I probably won't. There's no pressure to, and I think doing it on your own time frame, like, oh, I'll take a day and do like 2 or 3 entries, because I think the average you can do is like, if you grind and you're well like focused, can probably get like 4 or 5, maybe 6 entries done in a day. And that's for like very common Pokemon. So I think if you like have a day and you want to just grind at it, grind for it. But like, I think putting a time frame, oh, I want to get this done, and like don't take any breaks or play other games in between, or just have different like hunts going on, or just different challenges in other games, I think is really important to kind of balance it all out, which is why I try to bounce between a lot of the games on Switch to just do different stuff. It's so much more fun doing it that way. I just think doing the same thing day after day after day on stream is not always the most fun. And I think there are very few people who can do it really well. It's like, I've liked doing Nuzlocke in the past, but Nuzlocke are a thing you kind of need to do day after day, but it gets boring at the same time. Like having no variety, and then but then if you bounce back and forth, everybody's like, oh, when's the next Nuzlocke thing? That's what I've seen in the past. So trying to navigate all that, because I'd like to do another one at some point. I think that could be really fun, but just takes a lot. It takes a while to do, unless you do one with rare candies, which I also think I might do, because the training part of a Nuzlocke, like, it's not fun. It does add some stakes, because a lot of times you can screw up and knock out good Pokemon while training for levels, but it's just like the trade-off of having stakes versus actually being enjoyable to watch. I almost always skew to the it should be enjoyable to watch side of things. Let me look through the Let me look through the Pokemon Legends Arceus Pokedex. Like, I would love to do any of the shiny starters, really. I mean, mostly Rowlet, but any of those could be kind of fun. What else? Which that really, I don't think would take that much effort to perfect either. And a lot of them you can kind of multitask, like, oh, if I need to do, like, use this certain attack a bunch of times, but also defeat 25 Bidoof, like, kind of double up there a little bit, which is what I'd recommend for doing the perfection in a reasonable time frame. Evolutions are always cool. I'm gonna skip this actually. I mean, any of the Sinnoh starters for sure. Like Scyther could be fun. Good outbreak Pokemon too. Skorupi is one I want to get for sure, but that Hisuian Voltorb. So yeah, maybe we'll make a list and just try to get all those lined up. I also need to make a little compilation of all the shinies I've found, because I've been going pretty crazy with the shiny hunting in the last month or so. Which is basically as long as this channel's been around, but I want to make a compilation because we found a lot of shiny Pokemon, chat. We have found probably more shiny Pokemon in the last like month or two than I have in the rest of my lifetime, so I'm just vibing to this Gen 6 music right now. Yeah, maybe we'll do that like next week, potentially. Just pick out a bunch of stuff to perfect. Maybe perfect off stream. Once again, my only concern with perfecting stuff off stream is that you just end up finding the shiny while trying to perfect the dex, which kind of the perfect scenario, honestly, but I need to perfect another dex entry so I can hunt it. I'm trying to think. I don't know that I've ever perfected any of the entries for stuff that I've been hunting. So I wonder how fast it would go by once I perfected it in comparison, because I did the whole 10 hours without perfecting any of the entries. We found 10 shiny Pokemon. Like, you just, with outbreaks, I guess, the mass outbreaks and massive mass outbreaks, you can get damn good odds on all of those, like 1 in 2 or 300 if you have the charm. I guess if you don't have the shiny charm, it is a little bit I'm only going to because of how quick it was with Shinx. That's fair. And without the charm, the odds are significantly worse. So the charm does take some doing to get. Play it safe, go up here. But realistically, I think if you're trying to get like a living dex and stuff, that'll help a lot with not needing to do a lot of extra stuff when it comes to getting completed entries in the decks. Because a lot of it's just like feed this Pokemon berries, like you defeat it with a certain type, which like is not, with the right planning, is not very hard to do. And I think, let me find the video. I can link it because it's a really good video and it has, I'm also going to play it safe again and go back down here. I will pretty much till the end of time not stop singing the praises of the man John Stone and the way that he creates content. It is a video on perfecting the decks, and I think he has a spreadsheet of every task for every Pokemon, so you can kind of, instead of having to like scroll through them one by one in game and go back out and remember stuff. See if I can find it. That. And he has 4 videos on Legends. You hear it playing in the background. Okay, well. Oh, that's God for the Spear too much. Well, never mind. I thought he had a spreadsheet that he said he was going to share, but either way. If you pay attention to what needs doing for each Pokemon, you can kind of line them up with like a bunch of entries at once. No good grass spots for that one, so. Go. All right. I also need to go back and potentially, I don't want to add too many like duplicate songs, but I'm always wondering, like, do I go and add the Heart Gold Soul Silver versions of some of these songs? Because I like all the same songs in Heart Gold Soul Silver that I like from original Gen 2, but same thing with like adding some from Fire Red Leaf Green, Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire. So I kind of like, I don't want to end up playing the same songs over and over and over again, just in like remastered form, but might have also heard this before. Yeah, we did, but you know what? I'll rock with Coumarine City. I'm vibing to it. But okay. Yeah. One BDSP Radar. Bots. All right. At 16, it's half odds. We're at 17, so we're under 1 in 2,000. Means we have to get 500 rerolls. I don't know what this banging noise is, but I'm debating if I keep chaining or just start re-rolling stuff, because we've had such bad luck with this that I'd really hate to just push it like 1 or 2 more encounters and then lose it. So maybe we'll go for a little bit. We'll roll some encounters and then we will, if it's going nowhere, maybe encounter another Snorunt or 2 and then go from there. But with that, we'll stop at 17. I said to do 18, but I'm so scared right now. So let's do this. Grab this open again. And I literally just run back and forth. To recharge the radar. Roll it. And then add 4 to this number. That's how it goes. When we look for shiny patches, that's it. That is literally it. Let me do 2 things really quick. Let me check one. Make sure there's not a couch at my door. There is not. Okay. Here's something else. Well, that was all I got. So we're officially there. We just need to start re-rolling encounters. The odds are 1 in 1,986. We've faced worse. Found 2 charm odds shinies yesterday in Scarlet, which are worse odds than that. So I was going to change this to see my steps to make sure I'm just hitting 50 on the dot every time. Make sure I'm most effectively using my repels. I have to think there's a better way to track the number of encounters, but I have to get really good at adding by 4 every time. Remember some basic math and I'll be chilling. This is it, chat. We do this. And we talk. So if you guys got stories, anything interesting, anything fun to talk about, I can add my 2 cents. I've just learned over time that I'm really bad at thinking of stories like off the rip. But once somebody starts on a topic, I just start rolling. But more often than not, I have found this stuff under the amount of encounters it takes to be at odds. Which I don't think I've had a radar hunt go over odds. I'm supposed to roll the radar there. But some gaming going on, I see. Indeed, indeed. What's up, Pax? How's it going? Hope you're doing well and feeling better today. We can hope. Also, I might try to test some stuff out and see if we can get kitchen stream lined up for like next week or maybe 2 weeks. Nah, but I'm going to the doctor tomorrow, so I hope he comes in clutch. We can hope. We can hope. I love like my first reaction to when people say they're going to the doctor is like, oh shit, I feel so bad for you, man. Like I'm so terribly sorry, but it's just because in America, if you go to the doctor, it just like bankrupts you. So I feel like going to the doctor in other places is not nearly as big a deal. It's like America is just like, oh shit, that's gonna cost you, bro. But when that is not the case. Or there's actually like preventative health care. $4.52. How much is a regular doctor visit? Okay, I'll have to think about it because I've been very lucky with having like good insurance. But if I had to guess, like we still pay it though, it's just through tax. That's true. I guess it's one of those things where if you get taxed a bunch for it and you end up never going to the doctor, you kind of get taken advantage of. But it's one of those systems where like it's always good to pay, and then when you actually need it, like you're good. Same with insurance. Like insurance, you pay it every month hoping you never have to use it, but at least for like car insurance and stuff. What's up, Jay? How's it going? Welcome, welcome. But if I had to guess, like like an annual physical like checkup is probably like anywhere from like $150 to $300. And then there's also some places where like you have to do what's called a copay, which is where you just pay for showing up. So some things, like depending on insurance, you can have like a copay of up to like $20. But if you don't have insurance, I don't know if you have to pay, and then you also get billed like a couple $100 just. And that's if you go in, they literally just like do a physical, like check you from head to toe, like is anything wrong? You just say no to every question. They're like, all right, you're good. And it takes like 15 minutes. It can still cost a shit ton of money. Can you trade? Not right now, unfortunately. Locked in doing some radar hunting. So not at this moment in time. Maybe eventually, but I don't know. I kind of just like rocking solo for most of these games. It makes it easier to stream and everything. Because otherwise I have to coordinate with like making sure all the codes are correct, making sure the internet works, and all this other stuff, which I'm very bad at doing while also streaming. It's one of the streaming skills that I have yet to acquire. It's being able to like stream with other people and do other things and also talk to chat. It's just a lot that I'm not good at multitasking in that instance. Oh, we're at 68, right? 40, 44, 48, 56, 60, 64, 68. Was I at 68 or is I be at 72? We're just gonna call it 68. Also, yeah, what a great song. That's definitely a Cat Jam worthy song right there. This is such a vibe. Luckily too with the snowy grass, like the shiny patches stand out so much. We really don't run a risk of missing them at all, which is nice. We're going for shiny Snorunt as depicted in the top. Well, right, just right there. I'd say top left corner, but that's where I am, so. What you cooking for the kitchen stream? That's what the other thing I'd have to figure out, because I feel like making food that I would actually make is just not exciting at all. Like, I think the whole point of a cooking stream is like I'm making something cool or exciting. So I think me making like chicken, rice, and some vegetables is not. I feel like it has to have potential to end up either really good or really bad for the sake of content. Like a kind of difficult recipe that I could screw up, but could also come out really good, you know? Rather than like, oh, I'm just gonna boil pasta. Because like, I don't think anyone would care. Myself included. So either like a themed recipe, some sort of like video game recipe, or just something that would be like difficult. Boiling pasta stream would be crazy. I don't know why you'd watch it. Like, it's so uninvolved. It'd be like turn on burner. Wait 15 minutes. Cook the most American food you can think of. I could try doing like a burger and like homemade fries. That could be kind of fun. So I'd actually have to like cook the potatoes correctly and air fry them and stuff. That could be kind of fun, honestly. Kind of like that idea. Might go get stuff for that. Well, I shouldn't get it today, but I do need to go get food today. But maybe like a really crazy burger with fries could be good. Like make it, yeah. So get like potatoes, probably dunk them in like eggs or something, and then bread them potentially. I don't really know how you air fry fries, but imagine I can look it up. No, I can't watch that blasphemy. I guess I could do them in oil. I just don't like cooking with oil. Making toast stream, like French toast or something could be fun, like a breakfast stream. All right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Make a Krabby Patty. I'm sure somebody made a recipe for that online, right? Could also get in my like sword and shield era and make some curry or something. I could just do a sandwich also, like to meme from Scarlet and Violet. Thinking that, but I make the sandwich and I have to like drop the top bun onto it from really high up. Is it like building synths in the back of this go crazy just laying down those chords? I know I skipped this earlier, but holy, this is just such a well-made song. All right. Yeah, I'll work on some ideas for that. I don't know. The two things that I have to work on also with that are going to be 1, a mic, and 2, potentially a second camera. Which I think I could just use my phone, but I also want to use my phone to read chat, but I could use a laptop as well. So I can just move my PC and a monitor out there probably pretty easily. but there's 4. Second camera would be crazy production value. I think it would just be necessary because putting the webcam just like facing the kitchen, I don't think would be that exciting. But if it's also my phone, would probably just have to be like handheld. But I think there's an app I can download for OBS that pairs my phone to it. I don't know what the quality would be like or anything, but all of my 2 camera setups have been wild for any content I've done like that. They've never been good. It's always just been like a phone and a webcam, or like a phone and my DSLR camera that the lens shuts every 20 minutes. Because I don't have a mirrorless one. Or like the batteries die and stuff. I've done like 1 or 2 camera setups in the past when opening Pokemon cards. Yeah, the packs, all those were 2 camera setups, I think. Because we did a webcam and then I think a DSLR. And then we recorded them. It was a phone, and I put my mic arm up and then I clamped my webcam onto my mic arm looking down. Which is just so scuffed, but did the job. But I think the iPhone cameras are so good nowadays that like they make a good webcam. With the right lighting, the C920 still holds. So for a long while I wanted to get a really nice webcam, but the moving and everything is not as financially feasible right now. And I honestly, like, looking at how this camera looks now, it looks completely fine. Like, makes you wonder why you'd ever upgrade, kind of thing. But the only thing that's nice to have is the like depth of field difference. One, 2, 3, 4. Radar, we'll catch you later. Thank you for being here, hanging out, trying to find a shiny Snover. I hope you do have a great rest of your day, and I'll catch you around. Thank you so much for being here. Have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday. Okay. Navigate between a lot of patches right there, but chilling. We're just going, chat. We'll be doing this tomorrow. We have, I believe, Pokemon Sapphire speedruns. We rock with that. Later in the week, we got Minecraft, Mario Kart. At least that's what I have planned, but if I have other ideas, I'll just do those instead. So if you look forward to any of those sound fun, make sure to drop a follow. I'm working on getting to those 50 followers for affiliate. So, oh yes, we got the goated music going on that does get kind of copyrighted, but I don't have to take anything down, so we're chilling. Bump this a little bit. What's up, Electric Dream Machine? Welcome, welcome. Okay, cool. I should try to sing this in in French. I think you guys would like that. And just the most butchered French you can think of. You know this song means, chat. Shiny Pokemon are nearby. This song brings out the shiny Pokemon. Without fail. All right, 180. We're just slowly grinding through these. I mean, we can get, I don't know the actual rate of encounters, but it was just slow because it took 40 minutes to get Snorunt to show up. That YouTube short was so good. I love that. That one and the Magneton one, which just did not get pushed at all, which sucks because I really liked it. So I might try re-uploading that. I don't know. Every once in a while I have a short that just gets like 6 views. But it also has like an average view duration of 150%. So like the people who did watch it, watched it like several times over. Or on average like 1.5 times. I don't think YouTube gives reasons as to why they didn't push it. I think they only give you reasoning for stuff if it's like demonetization. So yeah, maybe I'll try taking it down, re-uploading it, or just changing it a little bit, but it's just so funny. Like, oh, where's Magneton? Literally spawns in. I'm like, oh. Just the like funniest, most basic shiny Pokemon reaction, but yeah, it's weird. I got a strike on my channel for a private video of my friend making a torch. That's dumb. I feel like you shouldn't get striked on private videos. I think you can get claims on private videos. That makes a lot of sense to me because then you can upload a video, see if it gets claimed, and then take stuff out. Oh, that like froze for a second. But it got actually striked. That's crazy. How can they strike you for content that no one saw? Like, what? That's wild. And also just for like making a torch, there's worse content on YouTube. Two more on my channel is gone. It's like, is that lifetime or do they wear off after like, I think it's like 6 months, right? It's been on there for like 5 years and then they randomly hit it with quote dangerous for kids. Yeah, I tend to agree with the concept of a lot of YouTube's like decision making, but their execution always leaves a little something to be desired. Their execution is always just like, why is this the way it actually is? Or why did, like, it doesn't work the way they say it will or something. Shoot. Yeah, striking private videos doesn't make sense to me. It's not even unlisted, like, I mean, I guess if you're uploading like inappropriate content, but there's a difference there. I just wonder if it's a thing now where it's like a conflict because YouTube has to like technically host the content. So even if it's like other people uploading bad stuff, they're technically responsible for it being on their website in any format, even as a private video. But I still agree that taking down a video of you making a torch or your friend making a torch is as a private video is just wild that they can do that. Yeah, the strike system is very harsh. I don't know how I haven't. Bro, somebody left their granny outside as she's going crazy on the balcony. Bro, go help Mima. She's stuck. She's stuck out there on the balcony and no one's helping her. I genuinely thought it was a cow. Oh my god, dude. They know she's there. They keep telling her to be quiet. Bro, why'd they lock Granny out of the house? That's crazy. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. I had not quite the same experience this morning, but a somewhat similar experience. Where this morning I like went out. We have a little deck area. It's nice and cold out, so I'm like in my sweatshirt. I'm all bundled up. I just have my like glass of water. I'm just sitting out there. I'm like just sitting on the ground. I don't even have a chair out there. Just sitting. Like just chilling out. Nice and early. Out there for maybe 5 minutes. Just like genuinely taking it all in. Enjoying the peace and quiet. The cold. It's so nice. Then just across the way, you just hear a baby start screaming. I was like, all right, I just packed it up, went back inside. Well, that's it for me. I guess I can no longer enjoy this quiet time that I had to myself. My morning meditation was ruined by some good old baby rage. So my morning meditation was literally just me sitting on the ground. But it was so peaceful and so quiet. Nice and relaxed. And then instantly, baby rage. So like, whose baby do you think that is in that emote? Just like some person at Twitch, they're like, here's a picture of my child. And then they made it into a Twitch emote. Your current roommates know you stream. Yes. Yes, they do. So I think content-wise, that opens the door a little bit to have guests on stream. That's me. My uncle works at Twitch and made that. Oh, word. Classic. Classic. But just in general, I feel like it means I can be a little bit like louder and more animated when people are home. Just like, it's not even like, oh, like, I don't want them to know I'm streaming. It's just like, I don't want to disrupt them by trying to be in streamer mode, which even for me is not super like crazy and energetic, but it just means I don't have to like be quiet if they're home or as quiet and stuff. Like I still have, like I have a roommate and then I'm living like, there's people above me and below me. So I want to be somewhat considerate of that. But it kind of makes it a little bit easier in that respect. And also it's like, hey, one, I have this idea that has multiple people involved. Like one, do you want to help me with it or be in it? It also just adds like another character to the streamer universe, you know? Which I feel like that's kind of fun in a lot of streams when there's just randos. I say randos, but like if there's other people beyond just the streamer. Or like just, hey, do you mind if I move my PC into our kitchen for a day? Like, that's a much easier conversation to have with somebody that understands streaming a little bit. Or like, I want to do a Harry Potter watch stream that would basically be just short of 24 hours. And so like, hey, can I move my computer and camera into our living room for 24 hours to do this? Like it's a lot easier to explain. Have I seen the Fantastic Beasts movies? I've watched a good chunk of the first one, but I never finished it. And I have access to the next two, so the trilogy, but I have not watched either of them. I've heard really mixed reviews. I feel like I either hear they're really good or really just horrendously bad. And they did a lot of advertising for the newest one, The Crimes of Grindelwald or The Secrets of Dumbledore or some shit. And looks interesting. They're genuine ass. Okay. That's why. And then one of my brother's friends though is like, hey, they're they're really cool continuations, or like they build out the lore a little bit. They might be like terrible movies, but I think his reasoning was like, hey, it builds the universe a little bit more on another level of bad. Maybe we could start with those. Like I watch all 3 of those. And that would also be just, it'd require a little bit of logistics, but I think literally what I would do is on stream. Stream would be like, it'd literally just be this shot of me like sitting on a couch, chilling in like a big area, and then have like a little playhead somewhere on here where you can see how far through each movie we are, so you can like time it up if you want to watch it at home. I don't really know how hard that is to do, but if anything, they ruin the lore. Oh, well, damn. Bro is smoking something. But yeah, those like now more than ever, the way like attention spans have evolved and pretty much devolved at this point. You really need to like grab me if it's a movie I'm watching at home. If it's a movie I'm watching at a theater, I paid my outrageous amount to be there. Really not a ton of money, but it's more than just watching a movie at home and more inconvenient to leave. So if I'm watching something at home, like it kind of has to keep me in to watch, because otherwise I could just like, oh, I can just pause or like walk away and stop watching this, never finish. It doesn't matter. So whereas the theater, like I'm going to sit there and I'm going to watch the movie. Speaking of, I don't know if I talked about this on stream. I watched both the Barbie and Oppenheimer movies a couple weekends ago. Fantastic movies, chat. Would recommend them if you haven't seen them. Genuinely a ton of fun. Well, Oppenheimer, like fun's an interesting word. I talked about the double feature. Okay. Won't go too much more into it because I remember now you said you haven't seen them, so no spoilers. But those like were movies. I think Oppenheimer is one that I would not have watched in necessarily one sitting at home. Granted, I would have liked at the theater too if they just had like a 10-minute intermission to go to the bathroom and grab food, but you revealed that you peed your pants because there was no break between them. That's right. I peed myself in the theater, and yep, everyone called me piss boy after that. It's really traumatic, and I shared that on stream. That's right. I forgot about that. But that's the thing with longer movies is at the theater, like I am going to watch this, just I'm going to stick it out and watch it because I have to, but because I paid good money to be here. Whereas I think at home, before the new Avatar came out, I was watching the old Avatar and I would just watch it in like 45-minute segments. It was fantastic. The first 45 is a little bit rough because it's kind of boring. It's all the background, but they don't do movie breaks in America. They don't now. I mean, they used to a long time ago because they had like switched the reel. If it was a really long movie, they had to switch the like film reel. But more recently, like all the newer long movies, Avatar, Oppenheimer, the new Batman, none of them have intermissions. And those are all 3+ hour movies, right? I know Avatar definitely is. Oppenheimer definitely is. And I think Batman was just over. They're all fantastic movies. And it's like, it's not that they're not engaging or like fun. I enjoyed all 3 of those a ton. I really love all 3 of those movies, but just give me 5 minutes that I'm not like running to the bathroom or running to go get like a drink. Because I feel like the average person is going to get thirsty or hungry in 3 hours. And that's a pretty reasonable thing for a place that won't let you typically bring in your own food or water or anything. Like, that's crazy. It's like mandatory here because they sell millions of snacks during the breaks. Yeah, here it's like you load up on everything beforehand. You get your drink, your popcorn, and your candy, and like you lock down in your seat. We went to this place that had like the actual seats we sat in were fine. They were pretty comfortable, and like you could kind of rock them a little bit, but you couldn't lean back or like put your feet up. Any theater that you can put your feet up is just goated. It's the best way to watch a movie ever. Like, I've been to one theater before that does that, and it was just the best theater experience. Because the only ones they had that did that where we went, like, you had to lean all the way back, and you just had to sit in like the front row to get those chairs, which sucks. The front row is just objectively the worst way to watch a movie. I know, as I watched the 6th Harry Potter movie in the front row. Well, I was just horrendously sick one year also. So that was an interesting time in my life, but yeah, you can like run out and grab snacks and stuff during the movie, but you got to chance it. You got to hope you find like a boring spot. Or if you have friends who go before you, you're just like, yo, what's the most boring part? So I know like when this scene comes on, I can go run out and grab a snack. Why did we go with the first row? I think it was the only tickets available, or the only seats, because I went, this was like when the movie came out, so this was 20, I don't know, call it like 11 or 12. I could even be wrong with that, but we went in. It was my mom, my brother, my brother's friend, and I. So we wanted to sit 4 of us, like we we're gonna split up, and I think the only 4 seats in a row, because we got there kind of late, the only 4 seats in a row were just in the front row. So we just had to sit there and watch. Doing that the entire time. Which is not fun. But being able to have a chair that reclines and put your feet up is just unmatched. Sad story. Kind of. I mean, that was a big part of why I was very out on Harry Potter in the movies for a long time. Like the older movie, or I guess the newer movies, the latest movies. I just associated them with this like horrendous memory of feeling so sick, and also just having to like sit with my neck craned at 90 degrees, which is such an interesting like and dumb thing to complain about. But because now I go back and that's like one of the better Harry Potter movies. I say one of the better. They're all good in my opinion, but all right, we're almost at 50. Boom, boom. There we go. 16. Cool. It's going by a little bit slower than I thought it would, honestly. I feel like we got through this a lot faster in previous streams, but I have to remind myself that it literally took like an hour to get our chain going. So I have to hand type everything because I think you can set up software that will auto count the encounters, but I'd have to look into that. I don't know what that requires to set up. And with this, it's kind of funky because you're counting 4 every time you do this rather than just 1. So it's not like, oh, just add 1 every like 20 seconds or something. What's new with you guys, chat? What's new in your world? For me, I just like desperately need to go grocery shopping now. I just have no food. So I think that's what I'm doing after stream. But I've been working on just kind of generating content ideas, getting settled in, also getting stuff set up. Just let me move a few pieces of stuff in here and decorate. My roommate has like stuff hung up in like the halls and in different areas, and my room is just blank. I have this shelf. That is it. That's my only decoration. So need to improve that a little bit, make it feel a little more homey in here. Weather's good here. I want to throw a barbecue, but don't want to put in all that work. I feel that. Like events, parties and stuff are always fun to like throw, but the two big things that are just like, one, the cleanup is always tough. And just organizing everything is kind of a nightmare sometimes. I feel like I run into that a lot, especially in like these years of life where most parties is like you need to get a bunch of alcohol and you don't want to ask people to pay for it, but it's a really expensive thing to just go get a bunch of. And also like cleaning up after a bunch of people who have consumed a bunch of alcohol is never fun. So those are two big barriers where it's like you want to do something nice, but at the same time it's going to cost you like a couple $100 and potentially ruin your home. Like but that's so we've hosted some fun parties at my last place. We had some good ones there, a lot of fun, but it is a surprising amount of work to just organize, like, all right, who's getting what, who's bringing what, make sure everything's set up, make sure everything's cleaned ahead of time and then after, who's actually going to show up, make sure we're inviting the right people, all that stuff. It's a lot more work than I ever anticipated if you want it to go well. If it's just something casual, then that's kind of a different thing, but because I think a lot of times in high school and stuff when I was hanging out with those friends, we just have a group chat. It's like, all right, let's meet wherever. Basically one person supplies the home. And then everybody just rifles off in the group chat the essentials that we would always get. Like one or two people are pooling to buy the actual food, and somebody's buying like the sodas, somebody's buying the snacks, somebody's buying the candy. Like you just call it a day. But something I would have liked to do more of is like hosting and planning events, because it's fun when it all comes together, but the work up front is always rough. I also have some good like ideas for events content wise too that I think could be funny, but we'll see. Used to always party with a group of girls and they would always supply the house, which was so good. Having somewhere to go, I've learned, is the ultimate key, because this past year a lot of places that like our group used to go and party, everybody moved out. And so we're like, all like, our place isn't great, but we could do it. And like none of these places had the same space or like the same layout. And then we destroyed one of the houses and we're never invited again after that. I think that happened a couple years before I was at school. My friends, like, they had a big party and it was like a bunch of people from our school and like 2 or 3 schools nearby. They all got together at like, I think one of the groups was part of like a club or something, so they had like a dedicated house for like their club. And I think it was just such a wild party and the place got just demolished. And so every once in a while, like if my older friends saw those kids around, like, oh, yo, like we should do another one of those parties. And the other people were always like, yeah, like maybe we should do that, but like probably not ever again. so funny. I've been pretty fortunate. Like I haven't been to a party where I think like the place has been absolutely ruined. We did have one where the ceiling cracked. That was a bit rough. Went to this party and like there was the downstairs was kind of like the living room and like bedrooms and stuff and a kitchen, and then the upstairs was just this really massive open common area with like a bathroom, which perfect. So you have like a table set up, you have people dancing and stuff. I remember it was getting pretty late in the night and I was pretty tired, ready to go home. So I'm kind of like doing my rounds, saying goodbye to people, saying like, all right, I'll catch you later, whatever. Thanks for hosting. And I'm just downstairs in this living room looking up, and you can see the ceiling like dipping when people are jumping. Like it's just caving in a little bit. And apparently after we left, there's just a massive like crack in the ceiling that needed to be fixed. I saw that. I was like, yeah, I am gonna not go upstairs anymore. I'm also gonna avoid walking underneath that area. So I don't have 100 people just come falling through the ceiling. That was reaching like Mo Bamba levels of rage back when that song came out, and just floors across the United States and the world, frankly, were getting demolished by people just jumping. But yeah, it's always, you always had to know whose house had like the good space for it, or two, whose parents were like not going to constantly be there. It's not even so you could like get away with stuff, but some parents were like too involved. Like every 4 seconds they're coming in like, yo, you want this, you want that? You're like, I like the approach of like, say what's good, chop it up a little bit, talk about life, and then they kind of just leave you be. And that's not even like, oh, so we could go drink and do drugs, because I didn't do those things, but I don't know, you had to find out who was gonna be chill too. Like, always good to navigate that. Where you're not gonna have the dad who's like, guys, let me come crack some beers with you, and like act like he's one of the boys. That's always a weird line to toe. So I've been to parties where like people's parents have out partied a lot of the people there, and it's a very like, it's funny in the moment, but it's a really weird vibe. I have one very distinct memory. I forget if I ever told this story on stream. I have a very distinct memory of being at a friend's party, and it was for his graduation. So people's parents were there. And you know, we get a couple hours into the night, we're cruising, we're feeling good, we're hydrated, if you want to say that. And I think Love Story by Taylor Swift came on, which is one of my go-to. Like, I love just vibing to that at parties, I'll admit it. I don't care, I'll rock out to some Taylor Swift Love Story. And it's this big circle of people, and I'm dancing in the middle, and there's just a dude's dad who's like 55 in there with me, and we're boogieing. We're both getting down, and I just remember he like looks at me in the middle. He's like, dude, I've never heard this song in my life. I'm like, yeah, dude, it's because you're 55 and this is Taylor Swift. Like, this is just weird. I'm gonna be honest with you, this is just weird. So it was after that I was like, I'm gonna go chill elsewhere now. But it's a funny memory, but it's like, why is this the way this is going? It was so strange. Like, the dad could hang, but it was just like, it's always weird to me seeing parents in that situation. But that's when you realize they just still want to party too. So, power to them. I gotta go. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for streaming. Pax, we'll catch you around. Thank you so much for being here. We'll catch you later. Hopefully tomorrow. I also have to check, see if my couches have been delivered. By couches, I just mean pieces of the same couch. Still chilling. All right. No couches, no shinies, unfortunately. But we'll keep going for like another hour, I think. I hate to say with Radar, a lot of my luck with with it has been off stream. So it is one thing that the level of time and investment you have to make to get the Radar thing started is worth continuing off stream, because once you break that chain, you're done. So shoot, one step over. Darn, I was on a good streak there. Trying to do this, I only take exactly 50 steps and don't waste any repels, because we have been burning through them. Skipping this again. How many repels do I have left? Okay, we still have 283. We had like 320, so we're actually doing much better than I thought. We're doing much, much better than I thought in terms of repels. All right. So that as it wears off, but still to this day amazed by the depth of music they could make with the sound chips they had back in the day. So for a second thought we had shiny patch. I got really excited, but I have to remind myself that we are basically dealing with 1 in 2,000 odds, so being this far under odds would be kind of insane, actually. But we'll try to get, like I said, another hour, which I think will get us somewhere near 1,000 encounters. So I'll probably do this for a few hours after stream, or maybe just try to keep it going. If your switch goes like to sleep, I think it might end your chain if you're not in an encounter or something. So I'll have to deal with that, because there's been some times where if like you leave it plugged in on a certain screen, it's completely fine. Other times I've just come back and had it, the chain's broken, so. But I do need to get a couple of things done, which require me to leave, so. Just making sure I see all the patches too, make sure I'm not missing anything, because they can be very easily hidden. In this one, sometimes they can be on the same tile as the NPC that's like down to the right, so make sure there's not one hiding there, which if that was the shiny patch would be very unfortunate, because it can happen. I've never had it happen to me, but I've seen patches be under there, which means that there's always a possibility that the shiny patch could be under there as well. All right, well, keep grinding. 50 steps and 4 encounters at a time. All right, I feel like we may have made it through most of this playlist, so I'm going to give this a few more songs, and then I might switch it up a little bit. 484. All right. Come on, shiny Snorunt. There's one thing with this method is there's not a huge opportunity for just random shinies, which I feel like a lot of other methods afford you that liberty, where like Scarlet Violet Legends, you're just as likely to come across some other random shiny as you are the thing you're actually looking for. Whereas this is a bit more like you're either going to find the shiny patch of what you're chaining or nothing at all. I have had one instance, actually two, with radar hunting of not getting the shiny. I was like, well, I had one where trying to build a 40 chain, I randomly in a non-shiny patch encountered a shiny Eevee. Which means it was full odds, 1 in, I think I had the charm, so 1 in 4096. Although, yeah, the charm doesn't affect other stuff in this game. So 1 in 4096. And I had one where I had like a 3 chain. And hit the radar, and it was one of like the nearest tiles, and it ended up being a shiny Staravia. There's 500 encounters. Basically a quarter of the way to being at odds. So we're making progress. That took basically an hour to get 500, which isn't terrible with the odds we have. Realistically, I should have a little bit bigger chain. I swear some of these look like they're sparkling, but it's just because they're shooting out a lot of leaves at the early part of it, and then looking normal after that. But always out of the corner of my eye, they like catch my attention. But the shiny patches will be incredibly obvious, which is nice. We don't have to like remember where they are and avoid the other patches, which one of the, you know, general improvements, kind of quality of life improvements, but one, two, three, four. There we go. But we'll keep grinding away for the shiny Snorunt. I really think this is pretty much the end of what I'd like to radar hunt in this game. I've had a lot of fun doing it. I found a lot of cool shinies that I otherwise probably would not have found, but it is rough doing it in this game. And I'd like to do it in original Diamond and Pearl, but I don't have a capture card, unfortunately. And those are pretty hard to get your hands on, like a trustworthy one. And they just cost a lot. So maybe in the future I'd like to have it, because I own now some like 3DS games. I have a lot of the old DS games, so I could actually hunt in the original copies, the original methods, and then that way I could have the Pokemon rather than just doing it on like an emulator. And you know, I find the shiny, but I can't transfer it or anything, which is no fun. 4, 3, 4. All right. We just continue. Shoot. Oh my god, I took one too many steps. Why? I know that I'm one step off and I could just keep going without resetting, but I like it when it's a nice round number, which you know, means nothing, but did it again. But no shiny patch. All right. Eyes are also so dry from just staring at the screen. Trying to be very focused. It's also a terrible patch to do that in, but feels nice to just close them for a second. Just pause. All right, let's let me see. Let's work with Sand Gem 10, then we'll get out of that playlist. All right. It's still raining out. Let's see. I don't think so. So that's actually kind of nice. I like the rain, but we need to actually go outside and do something. It's gonna be kind of annoying to deal with. But it's weird feeling like that end of summer. I kind of have that end of summer feeling, but not as much as I've had in the past, because I now don't have to go back to school. I mean, I have to get a job, but that's a different battle. Let's look up. There we go. But yeah, for the first time in like what, 17 years, I haven't had to go to school in 2 weeks. Which is a very weird feeling. It's cool, but it's a very weird feeling. Like, there's no more of that, like, there's no more, oh my god, it's the end of summer, like, oh, this sucks, I hate school, like, we gotta go back and, you know, back to the grind type of thing. But it's also just, now every season, like, there's no, the seasons change, but it doesn't mark as significant a you know, a milestone, or like, oh, this is when you work, this is when you don't. Just like so I feel like the year isn't broken up the same in that respect, but so much time has gone by so quickly recently. It's been very just hectic and insane. So I love that my phone will give me like, oh, this photo from a year ago, but at the same time, like, terrifies me to think, because it feels like it was so recently. I don't know if that happens to anybody else, but you get like a flashback in photos, and you're just, it's like, how the hell was that like a year ago or 2 years ago or anything? It does not add up. The Apple like suggested photos that it pulls up, or the flashback scenes, just always so weird too. It's like, oh, here's this random picture of food that you took like 6 months ago, and I'm going to show it to you for some reason. Like, if you accidentally swipe too far over, it gives me the news and random photos that neither of which I care to see. But that's how I know I've gone too far. Swiped too many pages back. All right, 604. We're going. Odds are 1 in 1,900 something. So by that count, we are still a ways away from being at odds. But I'm going for about an hour and change. I want to go for roughly another hour. We'll see. Because one, I'm getting hungry, and two, I have some things I want to do after stream, which might take a little bit more time. And have to be ready for a couch to get delivered, so we'll see how all of that lines up timing wise. But I'll try to keep this open. If for some reason I can keep this open like overnight, I'll try to keep it going and maybe do this for like an hour or two tomorrow. But I'd kind of just prefer to work on something different, so we'll see. Does anyone know if you can like, if there's a guaranteed way to leave your Switch for a while without the chain breaking? Because I have some random methods that I've tried and have worked, but I have like no confirmation of if it was just sheer luck or if it's actually something that works. Because I've had sometimes where like you just hit the home button and you let it sit on that screen. Another one I've done a lot is if you just go into a battle and you let it sit there, or you catch the Pokemon and just let it sit on that like caught Pokemon screen. If there's really any difference with that versus being in the battle. If anyone knows that, that'd be incredibly valuable information that I would love to have. Also just playing more songs that I think I need to add to my playlist. I'd like to roughly get to 1,000, but what are the actual odds? The actual odds are 1 in 1,986. So if we could get to like half that, which is like in the high 900s, frankly, but keep vibing in the meantime. I feel like that's the one of the only drawbacks with the radar is, one, how hard it is to get a chain going sometimes. And even when you do everything right, sometimes it just breaks. Sometimes that's just the way it goes. But two, it is not the most like visually compelling hunting method. Kind of just run around in circles. You have to be somewhat alert of what's going on, but realistically, in terms of watching, it's a little bit rough, which is why I think after this hunt, we will be done with radaring for a long while. I took a good break between, I think Sneasel was the last Pokemon I caught. Oh, and Flaffy was another one, or Mareep, sorry, was another one I did. And that was a similar situation where like I was going, finally been a while, so I finished stream, did it for like another 20 minutes off stream, found a shiny, and then I just kept my chain going. My chain got to 40 as well, which is just super lucky. And I have yet to have that happen since, which is why I don't even shoot for 40 chains anymore. They're just so rare. They're great to have because the odds are just actually insane, but this game's just not worth the trade-off of how hard it is to actually get to a 40 chain. I think I think it's under 5%. For how likely you are to get a chain to 40 in this game. Even if like that's assuming that you go to the farthest tile and catch every Pokemon. Just give you your best odds. I think are 82% to continue the chain. Seemed like a lot, but when you have to do that 40 times in a row, not as great as it seems. Come on, show me a shiny patch, just for fun, just for the bit, just as a joke. Show me a shiny patch, you know, just for fun, for the laughs. I'm also amazed that I've yet to step into a patch I did not mean to go in. It's kind of surprising that we've made it this far without that happening. Hope that I can continue on that streak as well, but we'll find out. Just keep resetting the steps counter so I can keep track of 50 steps exactly. For the sake of not running too far and wasting all of my repels, because I do have a limited number. Kind of forgot to farm money before doing this, so did a little bit right at the beginning of stream, but now kind of just have to go with what we have. Oh, and I mentioned it last week a couple of times, but just chilling here, and you want to keep up with what's going on outside of streams or just outside of Twitch for that sake. If you do ! Socials, I'll do it right now. Yeah, links to my YouTube channels, TikTok, my VODs channel, and Discord. Keep up with what's going on. It's just an easier way than like communicating stuff through YouTube announcements or like anything on Twitch. Because as much as I try to stick to a consistent schedule, it's not always work out the way I intend. So that's easiest. I always post when I go live in the Discord and when videos go live. So if you're looking for an easy way to keep up with everything, that is where to go. I need to keep building that Discord because I put enough together that it can run, but I'd like to add more features and stuff along the way. So you get in there, you notice something is missing, let me know, and I'm happy to work through it and add it. That is supposed to be a place for the community to hang out outside of streams, so wanted to have all the things that people look for in a Discord server, because I don't spend a ton of time on Discord, and I haven't in the past, so I don't know like what really cool features you can add to servers and stuff. I only know a lot of the bare minimum things, so it'd be nice to add stuff as we go. All right, 724. Let's see, what's half of 1986? 993. Okay, well, pretty much 1,000. I don't know that we'll get all the way to 1,000 today. So it is still a ways to go, even 4 encounters at a time. Still a ways to go. Try to get like high 800s, 900s, somewhere in there. Like another 20-ish minutes. I know I wanted to make it 3 hours, but I am just very hungry and I don't think that's going to happen, so. I think tomorrow will definitely be a longer stream. Try to get a chair situated so I can sit more comfortably for a longer amount of time too, but between that and actually having like snacks, because the only stuff I have right now for food, it like requires me to leave and cook the food. I'm like, oh, I can just grab something and come right back to stream now. And currently not an option, so which also inhibits my my ability to stream for as long. But I'll work on that because I've also been eating breakfast really early and then waiting to stream. So if I just eat a little bit later, I think it'll be fine. Okay. It's just rocking out. I love this. It's a nostalgic Pokemon playlist or Pokemon music playlist. Forget who makes it, but this is like my go-to just like chill background or study playlist. I love having this in the background, just working on other stuff, or if I'm like editing videos. There's no words and stuff. It's not like too crazy to think about or like get you really distracted. Like I used to just listen to music when I was studying and it would just be regular like pop and rap music, and it's really hard to stay focused with that in your ears all the time. That's like nice and mellow, not distracting. Also just reminds me of so many songs I need to add to the playlist. All right, yeah, let's get to like 860, I think. Just like under 100 more, which I think will be good. A good metric to aim for. My back and stomach are both very unhappy at this moment. My back wants to not be in this chair and my stomach wants food, so we'll grind through this for the last little bit. Work on those two other things and be back at it tomorrow. I'm very excited. I've gonna be speedrunning Pokemon Sapphire, at least that's the plan. And I've been working on the guide for that. It's a pre-made guide from someone on speedrun.com, but I've been working a little bit harder on customizing it to make it easier to follow for myself. And also just paying a little bit more attention to how people maneuver through different areas. And actually I need to watch videos to watch the existing runs of this game, of Sapphire, to understand like how to maneuver through certain areas, how to get past certain trainers, and just things like that that I haven't done in the past, because I always say like, oh, I don't need to know that. But realistically it's good to know that information, so. All right. reset. Cool. Not really the biggest deal when that's like out of sync, but I like having it on a nice even 50. So we'll do 10 more of these. It won't be good. Still significantly under odds, so not super bummed that we haven't seen anything yet. Kind of should be the expectation, frankly, but I think I've had, I think like 13 to 1400 is where I've found other stuff in the past. I almost really messed that up too by going into that patch, but I feel like I've had some as early as 900 when radar hunting like this in the game, but I also, I think, had a longer chain. Chain is currently at 17. So. All right. Keep rocking through the last couple here. Pray for some good old shiny luck. Which I apparently had yesterday afternoon once I got off stream. Off stream shiny luck is unfortunately pretty good in the scheme of things. In the scheme of shiny hunting. Granted, I've had a lot of luck on stream too with like legends and things like that, but I have found a lot of shinies just randomly off stream. Just never. Wish they would all just be on stream, but you know, that's the way it goes. That's what happens when you hunt off stream. You're gonna find some stuff. All right, last go at it. Last cycle of patches. Let's end on a good one. Come on. Let's get a prage in chat. Nothing. All right, well. Let's do this then. Let's get to 860. And I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 patches away. Encounter Snorunt. I'm honestly just going to leave my Switch on like this. Might be like a bad thing to do, but it's going to leave this as it is. So chat. Oh. That's going to do it for today. I'm going to stop at a crisp 860. Encounters just under half odds. So I will catch you guys tomorrow for another stream. I'm sorry that these streams have been shorter. I need to work on one, eating more food, and two, not sitting in this folding chair from I think the 1970s that is terrible for my back. So those two things, I don't know that they'll necessarily be resolved tomorrow, but at some point soon, fix those and we'll make sure we can keep these streams going a little bit longer, because I like streaming for like the 3-4 hour mark rather than, you know, 2.5. So that is going to do it for me. Thank you all for watching. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your Tuesday. Appreciate y'all being here. Make sure to click those social links if you're trying to follow. We got some good videos and stuff over on the YouTube channel and stuff popping in the Discord. So tune in to all that. I'll catch you guys again tomorrow. Have a fantastic rest of your day. See you later, everybody. Peace out.